Hi, I'm Rick Duchovny. I'm here with my good friend Devon Lee, who's a professional boxer, 7-0 with 6 knockouts. Devon, thanks for joining us today. Tell us a little bit about your background. How did you get into boxing? Tell us who you are.
I started boxing when I was 15 years old. I actually went to one of my brother's fights, and he was fighting amateur. And at the time, I didn't like boxing at all. I didn't think much of the sport. And my brother was getting ready to fight, and I was like, oh, this is horrible, you know, like, I could do this. And my dad was like, if you think you could do it, then why don't you get in the ring? And I was like, right now? And he was like, yeah, get in the ring. And I was like, all right, so I got in the ring without training and nothing, and I fought some kid, and he beat me. I actually got disqualified because I feel like I beat him up the first round, and then the second round, he was hitting me low blow, so I kneed him in the face, and then I got disqualified. And then from there, I was like, you know, actually, this can get fun. And then I ended up going to a gym, Tengus gym, and I sparred this professional, and he beat the heck out of me. And from there, that's when I fell in love with the sport. I was like, you know, this is something I don't never want to get beat up like that again.
So what made you fall in love after you got beat up?
It's kind of, I know it sounds a little crazy, but like that was, I like challenges. I've always grew up very hard. Nothing ever came easy to me and my brother, so when that was a challenge, it felt good to me. It felt like home. It felt like something I was used to, and I said, you know what, I want to conquer this. And from there, my big brother, you know, he always pushed me and always motivated me to be the best I could be in the ring. And he taught me, he used to get mad, he used to tell people I was a boxer. Before I was fighting, he used to say, man, you can't say that, because all the hard work we put in is disrespectful. So then I finally earned the right to call myself a boxer, and that's kind of what got me into the sport. And just kept me out of trouble, kept me grounded, kept me with something to do. I grew up, my parents, they never really worked, so I never knew about jobs or we didn't know nothing. You know, I didn't know anything about like what I was gonna do with my life. I had no future plans, so I was like, you know, I'll just box because my brother's doing it, and this might be a good way for me to go.
Yeah, because like hearing your mindset and the way you think, I think a lot of people would be surprised by your upbringing. Like, it wasn't easy.
No.
Can you maybe talk a little bit about just even what led up to boxing and how that might have helped you in your life?
Well, my brother, the way my brother started boxing is, I was born into foster care. I met my mom when I was about 6 years old, and then from there, my mom ended up going to prison for armed robbery when I was, I want to say like 11, and then my dad got out of prison. So it was like the worst case scenario, but the best timing, because I didn't have to go back to the system. And then my dad got out of prison, we met my father, he drove all the way down to Sacramento and picked all of us up. I mean, he picked up the worst kids you could pick up, we were bad. And when he picked us up, we went back to LA, and my dad was on parole at the time, because he just got out of prison. My dad did 12 years, 11 and a half years, and when he got out, they said, you have to get a job. And my dad was like this big old dude, so nobody would hire him except for a boxing gym. So he started doing like fitness out of there. And then my brother Maurice always tried to box, but when he was 11, he got shot in the head. So he still has bullets in his head. So my dad was very against him boxing, and he kept forcing it, and eventually my brother started boxing. So that's kind of how we got into boxing first, and then from there, just, like I said, I never was really into the sport until I went to my brother's fight that time, and my dad was like, why don't you get in the ring? And then that's kind of how we got into boxing.
Yeah. What would you tell maybe young people, the youth, about, you know, how you face challenges, and what kind of advice could you give people based on what you've gone through?
For me, I face challenges as every time an obstacle occurs for me, I just try to go through it, because I figure they're never gonna stop coming. So if you break down on this obstacle, you know, when the next one's gonna come, you're just gonna break down again. I'd rather just keep pushing through it, and then eventually, you know, conquer it. And then to me, you're never gonna stop getting challenges. But if there's ones that you can defeat, why not? You know, like if I ever lost, you know, God forbid, a family member or something, then that's a challenge that there's nothing I could do except the loss. Other than that, I'm always trying to win, because no matter what hand you're dealt, as long as you're focused and as long as you believe in yourself, and you just refuse to quit, then you could achieve greatness. I'm not supposed to be here in no circumstances. You know, I've had a very rough childhood. Most of my family is still homeless today. Me and my brother are probably the first ones that got on our own feet, don't use no government assistance, and, you know, we're blessed. But that was a lot of hard work and a lot of overcoming adversity and just continuing to go forward. That's what I feel like me and my brother, we we're not here because we're special. We're not here because we're talented. We're here because we just kept going forward, like no matter what.
Where did you get that work ethic? Because I've seen you train, and it's amazing. Like, where do you get that from?
Well, what I did was my brother started studying Floyd a long time ago whenever we first was boxing. And from there, I kind of like was watching Floyd box. But like me, I'm not really the type of person that like watches someone and says I want to be like them, because I've always wanted to be myself. But then I discovered like hard work is key. Like no matter what, hard work is capital. Like anything you try to achieve, if you want your teeth to get white, you gotta brush them 3 times a day. If you brush them once a day, you're not gonna get the same results. It's just always about being consistent and pushing yourself. So from there, I figured like, if I just keep pushing myself, where can I go? And then I've been beating a lot of people. I got to share the ring with great legends in boxing, and I've always held my own, and I'm just excited for the future. And I just feel like now I'm starting to position myself to make a name and start giving back to the youth and start helping people realize that it doesn't matter like where you're at in life right now. Like at any moment, you know, you can't change your life overnight, but you can change the direction. You know, you can immediately start going one way if you decide to. You know, it's not going to be easy. Adversity is guaranteed to come. That's why, for me, I look for the adversity, actually. It's something funny about me. I'm always looking for what the bad is so I can conquer it, because I know it's going to come. So I don't try to avoid it, because if you try to avoid it or hide it, then you make it come. You know, I just try to attract, like a friend once told me, always make a negative into a positive. So that's what I do. I'm always trying to figure out, you know, whatever this is, and you know what, I'm going to accomplish this way, you know. So I'm actually happy that that mentality was built into me. I mean, I had great mentors. As I started getting bigger in boxing, we got to meet a lot of great mentors in our life, you know, The Big Show, Martin Lawrence, Mike Epps. So these guys all, you know, they all always gave us the knowledge, you know. I never really cared about, to me, knowledge is key, you know, because they say experience plays a big part in life. And I feel like, you know, if you pick the right people's brains, then you can get the right knowledge.
Yeah. So we're sitting in front of the famous Muhammad Ali moment where he knocked out Sonny Liston. Who are some of your inspirations, like professionally, well, sports or otherwise?
So number one, Muhammad Ali, obviously the greatest. That's where I'll say I'll piggyback my name from. A great friend of mine gave me the name, and from there, what's crazy is when I made my pro debut, when I was supposed to make my pro debut, Muhammad Ali died that same day. So it was like I felt like he was passing the torch. Sadly, I didn't get to fight. The kid wouldn't come out in the ring. It's never been done in boxing, and that was the only thing that kept me from going. But the day I was supposed to fight and make my debut with my name, the greatest, Muhammad Ali passed. Sad day, obviously, and a legend. To me, Muhammad Ali was a people's champ, and he believed in like spreading, you know, positiveness and making a change. He's not like, you know, I love Mayweather to death, but Floyd is more of the bad guy, because he always had to play the bad guy. That's how Floyd came up in his career. He was the bad guy. You know, he was the guy that everyone wanted to see lose. Where Muhammad Ali was the greatest. You know, everyone wanted to praise Muhammad Ali. If he goes running, you'd see 40, 50 people, random people just start running with him because people loved him. And that's kind of the route I want to go. It's something, I look up to Muhammad Ali because I like to talk mess, you know. I like to let my opponent know that they can't beat me. I don't like, but you know, I try to figure out a way to do it where the fans will be happy with it, you know, where I'm not being cocky, but you know, just in a confident thing, because you have to know you're the best in this sport. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard said it the best. If you don't think you are the greatest, then you're in the wrong sport, because we're putting our life on the lines every single time we get in the ring, each and every time. So, some of my favorite boxers, I mean, and overall sports, I love Kobe Bryant. You know, his mentality, the Mamba, his work ethic is just unreal, you know. Only other person I could say that I personally seen work harder than was Floyd Mayweather. And that's why I take my hat off to Floyd, because I can't even say I matched that work ethic yet. And it's something you have to me, grow into. It's nothing you could do overnight. It's always a challenge. And that's why what I strive for every day is focus. I'm trying to become the most focused athlete in the world. And when I can achieve that goal, then everything else will fall in line.
So speaking of being, or not being cocky, can you tell us about yourself as a boxer? People that don't know you.
People that don't know me.
Just be open.
I would say I'm the type of fighter that I come out with a game plan. I never go into a fight without a game plan, and because the key is whoever sticks to the game plan is going to win. But I like to knock people out. you know. So I'm the fighter always looking for the blood, because when I see it, I go for it. And sometimes that could do you wrong, because I'm 7-0 with 6 knockouts for a reason, but I'm always the type of fighter that's going for the knockout. You know, May 19th, I'm fighting, I'm definitely planning and looking forward to knocking my opponent out. It's nothing against him, but we don't get paid overtime. This isn't a job. It don't matter how fast we're in the ring. If I stop him in the first round or if I stop him in the last round, I get the exact same paycheck. So for me, I'm just trying to go home to my family as fast as I can.
That's beautiful. So, interesting segue is one of the things that brought us even closer together was, you know, I have a son. My oldest son has Down syndrome, so I'm a part of the Ben.
That's my guy.
And I'm part of the special needs community. And, you know, we're trying to have an inclusive soccer facility here, as you know, you know, has special needs classes and things like that. And we had an event where you came out, and that's how we got even closer. And can you tell us a little bit about, I guess, what you want to do in the special needs community and why, what it means to you?
When me and my brother came out to the event, you know, it wasn't a channel in my life that I was focused on, because I've always the type of person that you have to like focus on, you know, one thing at a time in life. And then you can, once you achieve it, then you can start to focus on other things. And when I came to the event, my brother's like, yo, you know, you want to go give back? I'm like, oh, of course, you know, that's something, you know. I didn't feel like I was in position to give back yet, because like I'm so hard on myself that I'm like, before I want to give advice, I want to be I want to be on a certain tier. And when I came back and I got to meet all the young kids, and it reminded me of high school, you know, because in high school I was labeled special needs. In middle school, I used to fight so much that they put me in a gifted class. Then I threw my chair at the teacher. So then from there, like, all right, we can't put him in regular class because he'll fight all the kids. We can't put him with the gifted kids because I hit the teacher. So then they put me in special needs. And that's kind of like, it worked, because obviously I'm not going to beat up on special needs kids or, you know, and the teachers in there. So it was a great fit for them, but it kind of stopped my life. You know, it kind of put me in a bad position. I didn't really get to, I'm kind of ignorant to a lot of school stuff. And then I felt like every time I was in class, I'd hate the way they treated the kids. Because to me, it's like, just because they're slower or they might seem slower, doesn't mean it's not possible for them to figure out these things. It's not possible for them to become, you know, smarter, to become, you know. And my sister was born with Down syndrome, and she overcame a lot of it. I mean, if you seen her today, you couldn't tell she had Down syndrome. She might not have the brightest brain, but she's capable. She can use a phone. She's possibly, hopefully, one day be able to drive. That's a goal of ours that we're working on. So when I came, it was just a macro, right? That's the right word? Event for me. Yeah. I was so happy to see all these kids, and I was like, you know, I felt like they never even got to see boxing because they were so excited. So I was like, man, maybe this is something I could do, actually. This is probably the way I can give back now. And I said, why don't I try to, you know, shoot for becoming an ambassador of special needs, where maybe I could make some movements happen, you know, where these special needs kids can have the opportunity to come to my fight. I've only seen maybe once or twice ever in my life a kid at a special needs fight. I've been to hundreds of fights. So I felt bad about that, because I know that they will love these events, just like we love these events. And just like we like going to concerts, they might love going to concert. And I feel like it's up to us to accept them. It's up to us to make them feel like they can live their best life, you know? Right. Why should they have to live a certain way because of what they were born with? I don't agree with that at all. So for me, it's just like race to me. You know, there's only one race, the human race. So to me, you know, it doesn't matter what, you know, disability you have. It doesn't matter what upbringing you come from. Because there's some kids that have no disability but never been in school. They're probably more ignorant than the ones with a disability. That doesn't mean that you know, have to push away for them. You know, it's like when you see the homeless man on the street and, you know, you see a man in a suit. If you shake the man in the suit's hand, you should shake his hand too. That's just how I look at it. So for me, it was like I can make movements. I'm starting to build my fan base, and I feel like why not with what platform I can start creating to start making a change in this world, right? Because we only get one chance at life. So right. I'm gonna try to do my best.
And they teach the typical community how to be more empathetic.
Oh, for sure.
When you got exposed to that, that's what Ben taught me. You know, my son taught me. It's not even about it wasn't about protecting him so much. He was teaching other people how to accept.
Yeah.
Whether you're a different race, you know, different religion, you look different, you act different. So tell us about that.
To me, their morals are real. That's the most thing I got of it. When they tell you they love you, they mean it. You know, opposed to like when other family member might tell you love you, you can actually feel that they're serious. You know, and they're so respectful to me, and they're so loving, and like no matter what, like if they see you sad, they want to know why, and that's a great feeling. And I feel like if we were all like that, if this world had a little bit more of that, you know, it'd be more positive. I feel like with them around, they make people better. You know, they make me want to do better. So for me, it's like Ben. He's fantastic. He could do just about anything. You know, when I first met Ben, he was saying, you know, things that people might not like to hear. And I said, hey, Ben, let's start saying this instead, you know, be more welcoming. And he caught on to it right away. So to me, it was just no one took the time to sit down and actually explain to him why what he was saying wasn't the best and what would be a better approach. You know, and for me, it's not that I'm trying to change Ben, it's just if it was a regular person, right, what they would say, then someone would speak up. So to me, you have to treat them the same. And if you know, you might have to work with them slower, but that don't mean that you can't teach them. So that's like my main goal is like, because I was in class, you know, for 3 years, watching them teach us the same thing for 3 years. So of course, they never learned nothing because we learned the same thing for 3 years. So for me, it was like, it's an amazing feeling to know that, you know, that it's a goal of yours. It's amazing to know that there's other people out there that want to do the same thing that I want to do, and now it's just us putting it into action.
So what's your plan with, how are you going to, I guess, incorporate you being an ambassador for special needs and inclusiveness with your fight? Like you have a May 19th fight.
May 19th.
Talk about what your mission is.
My first goal with the special needs is May 19th. We look forward to bringing out 30 special need kids with their friends and their families for May 19th. And I also want to bring one special need kid into the ring with me because, you know, they're legally not allowed to box, which is okay because, you know, there's some things that you're just not capable of doing. And that's something I wouldn't want them to put their life on the line, no way. So I'm going to bring them out and let them experience the same feeling I get because they're going to walk in front of that crowd. They're going to be able to, you know, be right there whenever they're telling me that I'm the winner because May 19th we will win. But it's just something that I want them to be able to feel. And then hopefully they could even say something on the mic after the fight. My goal is just to let them get the same experience and the same adrenaline that I get each and every fight, what keeps me going and keeps me focused.
That's beautiful. So, and we're on Persian television. So maybe talk, what's your bigger vision for, I guess, like you're a professional boxer, but I guess what's your mission in life, right?
Unity. I want to bring people together. My goal is to bring people together. My goal is to not steer away from anyone. You know, this is a great opportunity to be able to speak in front of on Persian TV, on a Persian network, to build my Persian fan base. You know, to build my to me that my goal is, you know, one day I want all the countries behind me. You know, you have the Manny Pacquiao who has the Philippines behind him. You have Anthony Joshua who has the UK behind him. You have Canelo who has Mexico behind him. But my goal is to have every country behind me. My goal is to make everyone feel accepted, you know. I want it to be very hard for you to find someone to say that they want Devon Lee to lose. That's my ultimate goal.
That's beautiful. Well, thanks for joining me today. It was an awesome conversation.
Thank
as
you,
usual.
Rick.
It's a pleasure. Devon Lee, future champ, 2020. Is that?
Yes, sir. That's the goal. 2020. I hope to. Hopefully by the end of the year I can conquer the NABF title, and then next year I can get ready to get my real title. That's my goal. I'm very focused, and everybody, if you guys have time, if you're in Hollywood, come out May 19th. I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere where you guys can be able to get tickets. It's going to be a fantastic show, and it's my first time being co-main event, so I'm excited.
Are you opening up the after
party
event?
Yeah, I'm going to do an after party event. I never done after parties. It was something I was always against to me because I feel like I don't deserve to celebrate yet. But I figured the reason why I figured this is a good thing for me to do so I can mingle with my fans. I don't just want to talk to them over the internet or over Instagram. I actually want them to realize that it's me they're talking to. A lot of times they think that maybe I have someone working my social media. So my goal is to, you know, mingle with them and hear their actual problems in life and see whatever advice I could give them. Because I feel like I ain't been through everything, but I've been through a lot of the different cycles in life that I can always give to somebody. I can always give advice to somebody about overcoming. Because I've overcome, I used to be suicidal. I've been poor. I've been starving before. I've been without shoes, beds. So I know different type of adversity that I've been through where I can always, shed light on a certain situation. All right, Rick.
All right, brother. Give me a hug. Beautiful.
It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.